What is going on, YouTube? Today is a milestone day for me in my trading career. Today was the first day ever I officially had my first $10,000 trade, my first five-figure trading day, I should say. It technically comprised of two trades, but one main trade I want to go over with you guys. I want to recap it. I want to break it down. And I'm just stoked to share it with you because this is obviously a huge milestone. Every trader goes through all these different milestones. You always wonder, when is that going to happen to me? And then, just after enough practice, screen time experience, you see your opportunity, you hit it with size, and it plays out and works for you. And that's what happened today. So I want to do a trade recap going over this whole trade. I think it's going to be valuable for you guys, kind of show you what I was looking at, what made sense to me, why I put so much size on this, why I sent it on a fresh TakeProfit Trader Pro account, and going over all of it. So let's do it. First things first, here is the payout. Not the payout, I guess you could say, but here is the email officially saying, congrats on your success with the pro account. We're thrilled to inform you that you achieved an astonishing profit of $10,000. Could not be happier for you. So basically they did upgrade me to a Pro Plus account, which is basically a live account for TakeProfit Trader, which is pretty cool. So that happened literally in one day. That's pretty wild. But I'm really stoked. Little backstory to this trade as well. Literally earlier this week, I did almost have another five-figure trade, and I literally blew it. I was up $9,200, and we pulled back and pulled back. I caught news basically in the middle of the day, just randomly. I was super close to that 10K, and I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be it. This is going to be my 10K. And we just kept pulling back and pulling back, and I held the thing literally all the way to zero. It was the worst feeling. So to be able to come back and do this today, especially in the same week, it was just, it's awesome. I'm super, super, super stoked on it. So, it's a really, really cool experience, really, really cool feeling, and I want to break it all down for you guys. So I'm going to pull up the charts. We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down. And I want you to see exactly what I'm talking about. What was the trade, right? Where was it? What went on with whatever happened? So the trade was on YM. And I want to go over exactly what it was, what it looked like, the setup, all that type of stuff, why I literally sent it. I did go full size on this trade. I full 15 contracts of YM minis. But there was a reason, because it was just all the stars aligned and it was a really, really good setup. So let's break it down. First things first, I always look at the daily chart down here in the corner. I apologize for all the lines. I know it's my worst thing, but these are levels, and levels always get retested intraday. So it may look like a mess here, but when you get in smaller time frames, they actually work and they're actually there. So YM has just been on a heater. It's really close to all-time highs also. It just basically, after this huge dump, we started to push back up. And this thing has just been bullish, right? Bullish consolidation, next leg, bullish consolidation, little flag right here, breaking back out the flag towards the highs. So pretty much I've been watching longs. I've been looking for long setups. So this setups in particular, I was watching, some call it a daily 1-2-3 setup. Some call it a 3-bar play. I think it's basically, it's an expansion bar, a pause bar, then potentially a continuation bar. We didn't get the full continuation, so it's not the same thing there, but it's still that bigger picture overall daily thesis of what I'm looking at. It came from the daily chart, right? It's like, stick to the big picture. That actually really does help. And especially you can find multiple confluences within it. That's what helps even more. And that's what I found today. So daily chart, big picture, I was looking for longs. I was looking for us to come back towards the top of these bars and maybe potentially break out. That obviously didn't happen, but we got really close. That was my first thought, first thesis. Okay. So next up, let's go to the 30-minute down here. So 30-minute wise, we did have an extension into this 45 to 34 level. That was 2 days ago. Then we kind of just pulled back yesterday. Like I said, we drifted, and it was kind of this, again, this 1-2-3 pattern, right? Today, we had a bunch of sweep of liquidity. And for all you ICT gurus out there, I don't trade ICT. I do think the concept of liquidity is amazing, though, especially if you trade futures. It really makes sense. So it's like basically the idea of like, once we sweep lows or highs, especially extremes, if we don't close below them and kind of come back up, it's everyone potentially trapped and going the other way. So I love to trade these types of liquidity sweeps. Some call them spring plays. You can call them whatever the hell you want. It's basically a failed attempt to go lower and a reclaim. Like that's another word for it. So we had this happen today in the morning, kind of right after the open. So that's a 30-minute. Now let's go to the 15-minute. 15-minute chart here. Few things. Number one, the main thing I want to point out first and foremost, which really helped me on this trade, is near-term volume point of control. I have three strategies: reactions off key levels, reactions off VWAP, reactions off near-term volume point of control. That's it. I trade them. As we come into these areas, I look for potential bounce plays all the time. That is my bread and butter. That's what I do. So today specifically, we had this near-term volume point of control. I was watching this because near the open, we were really close to it, right? So I'm like, okay, the theory is this acts like a shelf. So anytime it comes into here, ideally we bounce, and it uses this area as like a support if you're above it. It's going to be the same thing for a resistance, right? If we were maybe down here and kind of coming up into it, this would look to be resistance. So that's kind of the first area I look at. It's almost like a magnet. So this was really interesting to me because over here today, we were opening really, really close to it, right? Like we opened up pretty much on it. We actually ended up selling off below it. So that was a little tricky. I actually got stopped out here initially on this trade, but then we held and had a nice follow through. And then we had the pullback, and this pullback is actually where I took the setup and what happened. So near-term volume point of control, like I said, that's the first thing I looked at. I was like, okay, cool. We're pulling back into this. That's really nice. Now let's go to the 5-minute. Let's break it down. 5-minute chart. So like I said, initially we had the dump here. I actually did try it initially here long, got stopped out, whatever, fine. We ended up reclaiming all of this, got back through VWAP, got back through volume point of control, extended through high a day. Then we started to gradually fade back. When we faded back like this, I was watching this area. And what I noticed was three things. Number one, extension, pullback. If this can hold near-term volume point of control, this could be a really good risk reward area to get long, especially if I see some sort of failed attempt to go lower, which is this little teeny wick right here, this little teeny tail. That's the first thing I was looking for. Second thing, we have VWAP right here. We are kind of just like chopping around it, but rule of thumb with VWAP, it's never perfect. Sometimes you have overshoots, undershoots, but like idea is if we extend above it, we pull back. You should be looking for some sort of hold for a continuation move higher. That is part of my strategy as well. So coming into this area, I was like, okay, this is near-term volume point of control, and we have VWAP. We got two confluences here, right? Okay, two main things. So I see that. As we're kind of pulling into this after we kind of fade. I'm like, all right, let's see how we kind of digest this near-term VPOC, how we digest VWAP. You know, if we can find some sort of signal here that we're failing to go lower, this could be a nice pop and could be a nice move back towards overnight highs, at least, which is 35s, and then into the sweep of liquidity up here towards 68s. Obviously, that's what happened, but back to the trade setup itself. So two areas of confluence, like I said. First one, near-term volume point of control. Second one, VWAP. Also, this is my secret of VWAP, and I'm giving it away to you guys. I watch both VWAPs, meaning I watch the 24-hour VWAP, which is this, YM, because futures are open, basically 24 hours. And I watch the main name itself. YM, the equivalent is DIA for just the equity name. Just like ES is SPY or QQQ is NQ, DIA is YM. So today, we also have a different VWAP for DIA or for like the equity version. And these VWAPs are always a little bit different usually. One will kind of be higher or lower because the volume is not based off of 24 hours usually. It's based off the New York Open. So it starts from a different time. So these will always kind of be different. But if you have them line up, and you have multiple confluences, this was like the third thing where I was like, this is screaming at me. I need to attempt this. I don't know if it's going to work, obviously. No trade's ever going to work. But the more confluence you have in a setup, the more conviction. I've seen this play out tons of times with either pullback to a VWAP, pullback to a key level, and then maybe also pulls back to opening print or prior day high or prior day low, whatever it is. The more confluences you have in a specific area, especially after an extension than a pullback, in that area, it's like you have to try it. You literally have to try to take the trade. You are doing yourself an injustice if you don't at least try. My light just died, so it probably got darker. That's why it got darker. So that you literally have to take the trade. And I've seen this so many times where I've been like, oh man, like, it looks still pretty heavy around here. I don't know. But then I'm like, damn, but that's VWAP, that's the other VWAP and it's near-term volume point of control. I'm like, damn, I need to try this. So That's what happened today. I've seen this happen enough where I have that feeling and I see what's happening in front of me. And I was like, Tanner, you got to go for this, bro. So I actually loaded up a fresh TakeProfit Trader account. I've gone through my fair share of taking some money out, blowing them, taking some money out, blowing them. Honestly, because those accounts I actually don't really care about. They're not my main intraday day trading accounts. They're side accounts. And I understand that. So I am really risky with them, but I totally understand that. That's part of like what I do with those on the side. I never go guns blazing. I have my day trading accounts that I trade very strict with good risk all the time. Don't go too aggressive on them. You know, I don't lose too much on them either. I live stream those Monday through Friday on YouTube. You guys can check out in the live section. I got tons and tons of videos of me, what I do, because I trade that on Top One Futures. Top One Futures is my main prop firm that I prefer. I like them. I like the consistency rule. I like Project X as a broker versus Trade of 8 a little bit more personally. So, but anyways, that's besides the point. This trade setup on TakeProfit Trader, I was like, okay, I need an account. I need to do this. So I actually spent $1,500 on resetting a pro account, which is insane. It is like ridiculous because you can literally take a combine and pass it for like $250 or like $300. It's honestly like a waste of money to do that unless you have this opportunity screaming at you. And I needed the risk right then and there, and I went for it. Obviously, it paid off, which is good, but it is very risky to do that. And I don't recommend you doing that. I have done that in the past, the way past, where I've reset them like quite a few times. And I was like, dude, this is a waste of money doing that. So take my advice. Don't ever pay the reset fee unless you have, you know, an A+ setup screaming at you like this, where you have to take it. So I loaded it up. At that time I loaded it up, it was literally right around this area. And then I saw this little failed attempt to go lower here. I got long here on this hold. 15 contracts, 15 YM contracts, literally full port. But my stop on this was right below here. I had my stop at 903. So only risking about 20 points on this trade with 15 contracts was actually only like less than a $2,000 worth of risk. I held this damn thing. It started to work. I held it through this. I held it through this. Once we started to get going, I was like, this confluence area is playing out. My thesis is playing out. This thing's going to go for overnight highs at least. So overnight highs, we're at 36s. 15 contracts, literally just from 919 up into 36. It's like 100 and something points. That is what made me just about close to $10,000. I think the total profit on this specific trade was like about 8,100. I had one other trade earlier on NQ where I did make $1,800. So that for sure helped me. So this trade itself wasn't technically a $10,000 trade, but overall it was a $10,000 day. Still stoked on it, whatever. But anyways, literally 15 contracts from here, from this spot up into overnight high, just taking out liquidity right here at 35s. That netted me just about, like I said, $8,200. So that was the trade. That was the setup. The whole moral of this is I've been day trading now for almost 6 years. I do the journaling, I do the review work, I do everything literally 95% of the time. It's actually what we coach at Strong Trading too, is like do the process, do the dirty work, do the back end work, because finally, after doing it for so long, I see something like this. I have enough scenarios in my head that I've gone through and I've witnessed and I've playbooked and I've practiced that I'm like, dude, this, you have edge here. You need to put on size. You need to take this trade. And that's what I did. And I'm really glad because, again, this is like a huge milestone moment. Obviously, the money's great, 10K, but it's also a milestone moment to like give me conviction in my system, my process, my strategy, my setup, all that type of stuff. And there's no replacing it besides screen time and practice over tons and tons of years, guys, years, almost 6 years for me day trading. So really, really stoked, really grateful. Got tons of good response from people on Instagram, you know, feedback and everything. So I wanted to make this YouTube video to go over the setup itself and just let you know, if you are struggling trying to find edge, it's all in the back end work, guys. Like I have so many playbook setups of documenting near-term volume point of control, pullbacks to VWAP, all this type of stuff. So that's why when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is my opportunity. Super low risk, crazy, crazy reward. I have to go for it. It's screaming at me to take it. So I have to put risk on. So that's what happens. That's what I did. So that's a trade. I really, really hope this helped you guys and, you know, you learned a thing or two. Please give me a follow on all my socials at The Strong Trader. I'm pretty much everything. Instagram is where I'm mainly active. YouTube, I do live stream pretty much daily here on YouTube with Lawrence, the investor. Shout out Lawrence. But that's it. That's the video. Nice and raw. We're going to end it there. I hope this helps you guys. Give me a follow. Give me some likes. Give me some subscribe to my channel, all that type of stuff, all the influencer stuff. Just trying to grow, trying to help you guys, and just trying to get better day at a time. So hope this helps. If you are struggling as a day trader and you're interested in one-on-one coaching, or there's a teaser, I don't know if I should tease it and say it, but in the next 2 weeks, we will be offering group coaching in a Discord. I didn't say anything. That's it. Okay. Be on the lookout.